Hello and welcome to another edition of the Gare Bear Review. I personally would like to apologize, from my team, that we were not able to do any of our reviews until today. Now, unfortunately, because of that, we're going to speed through our first set of being back. It's a set of 4 movies that have already been playing for a while. If you probably haven't seen it, you may maybe be on the fence about. This will give you that. But right now, as of today, we are going over our first movie, which is Man from U.N.C.L.E. That is correct. Now, back in the 1960s, 1964 to be presumed, it only lasted for 4 years. There was a TV show called The Man from U.N.C.L.E. And it was a pretty big success despite an only 4 year run. It featured Robert Vaughn as the Napoleon Solo, the title character of the show, and his partner Ilya Kravakin, who was played by David Callum at that point. Now, there's also a character named Alexander, who was played by Leo Waverly back in the 60s. Now, if you get in your TARDIS or your DeLorean and come back to the 2000s and hit me up at 2015, we come back to the Man from U.N.C.L.E, which is a branch off the show. It is based off of it, meaning same characters, same plot lines. Basically, it's just another episode. Basically, it's 2 hours, 2+ hours of an episode of the show, which is fine. I know my dad loves this show. He can't get enough of it. On was it Ion or whatever channel it's on? He's always recording it on the DVR, always watching it. It's a fun show. I even started to like it, and the movie was actually just as good. This film, the title obviously got me in because I watched the show with my dad, and it kind of brought me into the movie, and also the cast here is actually pretty good too, because they brought all the characters back. Napoleon Solo, Ilya, Gabby, and Alexander. They all brought the characters in. But again, I am gonna keep on telling you this. It's basically a 2 hour plus episode based off of the show. So it sort of doesn't have anything to do with the show per se. Like, it doesn't link to it. It's not a prequel or anything. It's set in the same time frame with the Cold War. Not the Cold War. The it's around it's in the early '60s. So I guess it's around that point. Um, it has the same sort of connection where the CIA and the KGB come together to join forces to help out a damsel in distress, if you will, because that's basically what she is in the beginning. And again, the cast brought me in Henry Cavill as Solo, and you bring in Armie Hammer. Who, if you don't know Armie Hammer or Henry Cavill, I don't know what you're missing out on. But Henry Cavill is Superman, and he's coming up with Batman versus Superman now. He was also Man of Steel, obviously, as Superman. Armie Hammer, he was in Lone Ranger, which I don't recommend you watch, but he was also in the Social Network, which is where we sort of first saw him, where he started to branch out, which is kind of cool. In this whole entire cast, you also have Hugh Grant, Jared Harris also coming into this realm, which is actually pretty awesome. The thing is, this movie actually it does the show justice. It's one of those few movie show transitions where it's actually good to watch. It's fun to watch. It's fairly funny. It's very long though. It plays very long. It's very drawn out. It's like 2 hours and like 30 minutes or something like that. Maybe a little bit less, but it's very it's very drawn out. It gets very boring. You end up like you end up day napping in a way, and you end up daydreaming. It's kind of really bad that way, but otherwise, there are parts that are really funny because of the dynamic that Cavill and Hammer play off of each other, which are very well done. Hammer tends to lose his accent occasionally. It's kind of hard to tell where he stands unless he's using a weirder accent later on, but he tends to lose it, at least in my point of view. And in my point of view, I really enjoy this movie. I like the concept of the KGB and the CIA coming together. It's actually pretty awesome to see. If you guys want to check this out, if you know your parents, if your parents watch this show, I'm telling you, they actually might enjoy it. I personally didn't see it in IMAX, but I heard it's really cool in IMAX. I mean, most things are, I mean, Star Wars is going to be in IMAX. Ant-Man was boss in IMAX. Jurassic World was pretty awesome in IMAX. I mean, you just get a really better experience. I get that spending the extra money is a little hard on at some points, but in the end, it's actually worth it, especially if it's a really good movie. Like Ant Man, or I mean, Man from U.N.C.L.E was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. You kept in tune with the dialogue, so I recommend it for those who definitely want to see it or are on the edge of not wanting to see it. I do recommend, however, you do watch the show just so you know a little bit of it, because there are instances where I didn't get, where my dad actually had to explain to me on how apparently Thrush was the bad. Again, it's kind of like it's in that Get Smart realm where you should have watched the show beforehand just so you get the gist of the vocabulary and the terminology. Other than that, I'm telling you right now, check it out. Also, check out our channel. You guys know the drill. So like, subscribe, give it a like down below, share it, whatever you got to do. So I know my fans are awesome, and you guys are awesome. So keep doing that. Stay tuned for our next adventure, because we're going to be it's actually going to be another spy movie with Kristen Stewart. I know, that's kind of weird. It's going to be American Ultra next time, so stay tuned for that. Bye!